All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to From the Chair Where Inclusion Matters. We'll be starting off here in just a couple of minutes. Nathan, would you like to introduce your guest tonight?
Yes, this is the Necro King.
Yeah, it's the Necro King here, baby.
That's right.
And we'll be getting ready to start in here in just a minute. So tonight, fans, everything you want to know about owning a promotion and some lucha libre action, you'll find out later here on the show. And we're going to go ahead and go live in about 30 seconds, guys. Here we go. And welcome to the show. And now to your host. Well, maybe we can see him tonight. We can just see the top of his beady little forehead. But your host, Mr. Nathan Noss.
How you doing, everybody?
All right.
Again, tonight we're interviewing the Necro King. Thank you very much for being on.
Thank you for having me.
So, our first question is, who were your wrestling heroes growing up?
Oh man, there's so many. I would say first of all, it would probably be the Ultimate Warrior, only because I'm really big on gimmicks and stuff like that. So the Ultimate Warrior was like so full of energy, and you could put him in any position, and he could raise the energy of the room at any time. So I really, that was one of my first. And then of course Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, who doesn't love the excellence of execution and the heart, the main heart of the family. And you know what I mean? Those are like the three of my top favorite that I loved watching as a kid.
Very good choices.
Also, before I forget, I used to like this one guy named Outback Jack. I don't know, he's not too known out there. Not too many people know him, but he was really fun to watch. Like I said, I was really into the gimmick stuff, so he was really good as well.
Actually, I remember him. So
awesome. Yeah, he was really fun to watch, and he was one of those guys that was a big guy, but he didn't, he wasn't afraid to get technical every now and then. Really, really fun to watch.
What was it like being commissioner of Compton Mania?
Oh man, there's so much paperwork and so many things I had to do behind the scenes that honestly, I'm kind of glad I'm not the commissioner anymore. I'm glad somebody else is the mayor of Compton Mania now, and Mr. Pissoff is actually doing a pretty good job. But as far as me doing it, I mean, it had its ups and downs. I liked it, but then again, like I said, it was a little too much paperwork. Me, I love to be in the ring, not on the side of it.
Who are your biggest rivals in wrestling? How long have you been rivals, and how long did the rivalry come about?
Oh man, I'd say my number one rival. He's actually very well known right now. He's making his way to the Indies right now, and he holds several championships in several companies. His name is Vito Fratelli. And me and Vito, man, we were in a couple different feds together, and we were always rivals. And we've always been friends. We respect each other, but we still have that competitive nature. And still to this day, I think he's still a rival. And I can't wait to see him someday soon in that ring and mix it up again.
Who were you trained in
Go
wrestling?
ahead.
Say again?
Who were you trained? Who were your trainers in wrestling?
Oh man, I bounced around. My first trainers were Cholo. They call him Little Cholo. He was very young at the time. Him and a guy named Martin. They call El Genio. And then after that, I bounced around. I was at Knox Pro. I was anywhere, honestly, anywhere they would let me wrestle and train and stuff. I'd be there. So I'm known by a lot of people, but I'm not really trained just in one spot. I move around constantly.
Um, sorry. Can you tell us a little more about the companies you have worked for and why you chose to work for them?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Um, First, I would say um, Anaheim Marketplace. It was called MPW. And they actually gave me my first start as pro wrestler with gear and in the ring, and you know what I mean. Having real matches and teaching me the psychology and everything like that. I owe a lot to Martin and Cholo for teaching me the basics in the beginning, and yeah, every time I see them, I thank them, and that was instrumental in me getting me started. And then from there, I worked a couple shows at Freak Show Wrestling, and man, they're freaking fun. Freak Show, if you've never been to a Freak Show Wrestling, it's ran by Sin Bodhi. He is awesome. He's another brother that's been instrumental. Everything he says to me sticks like glue. And yeah, I mean, Amped Up Wrestling, um, Compton Mania, Lucha Pro. I mean, all the people that own those companies, they're really good friends of mine, and whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to do so. And I know I'm forgetting a couple other ones, man, and you know what I mean. But I've been doing this for a very long time. UWF, I believe. Um, just yeah, I've been doing this for a very long time. So I've been, Arizona, San Diego, trying to get more out the state. But yeah.
Yeah, Sam Bodie did some stuff in Oregon out by where we live. So
Yeah, he's a very cool cat, man. That's if you ever get a chance to um, be under his tutelage and listen to him, he's I want to say very knowledgeable, but those words can't even describe, what you could learn from Simbodi. He is very, very professional. He is just a kind-hearted person. Much love to Simbodi. Shouts out to Simbodi.
Did you always know you wanted to become a professional wrestler, Or what was the true profession you wanted to become if you were not a wrestler?
Honestly, my first memories as a kid, I can remember sitting at the foot of my grandmother's bed or on my grandmother's bed with her, watching, Ric Flair, WCW days, and she used to tell me, "You're going to be a wrestler," and I believe I was only about 4 or 5 then, so I really didn't take heed to it or anything like that, but the time passed, and I ended up loving wrestling more and more. And then my grandmother passed, and that really threw me into wrestling because I wanted to keep myself busy in order to not think about her so much. So she's another reason why I really jumped in head first. And yeah, I mean that's that's my that's where I got wrestling from, and I don't think I'll ever let it go. Even when I retire as a in-ring competitor, I think I'll still be doing either running shows or being a manager or something. I'll be involved in some capacity for sure. But I've always loved wrestling, and my first memories were of my grandmother telling me I was going to be a wrestler. So yeah, I pretty much kind of knew I was going to be a wrestler once I became about 10 years old.
Could you tell us about the championships you've held and which one was most special?
Oh my God. Um, yeah, I'll tell you guys, before pro wrestling, there was a big boom out here in Southern California of independent wrestling shows and like backyard stuff. And I was 12 years old, and I was doing, all kind of stuff. I know people frown upon it and stuff, but like I said, I was a kid, and that's how much I loved wrestling. We would throw shows at the park and stuff like that. And honestly, those titles that I won there at that place honestly meant more to me because now that I think about it, a lot of my friends that were there with us, they're no longer living, and I made very, very great memories with some of the people that took titles from me and that I took titles from as well. But I've held every single SCWA championship, including the women's. Yeah, trying to get super over as a heel. And so yeah, I ended up taking the women's championship, and I think that one kind of was like more of the special ones to me because I felt like I was like one of the first men to ever take a championship from a woman. So yeah, I mean, to me that was pretty funny. That was pretty special, and it goes down in my memory.
That is pretty good. And I believe you're right. I think you're one of the only ones that I can think of that has done that. So
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just thought it was something different, and that's what I go for in this industry, is something different. I want to do something that hasn't been done before, and at that time that hadn't been done before, I don't think so. I was like, let's do it, and it ended up going over pretty well. Actually, we ended up stopped running as SCWA, started running as MPWA, and it actually traveled over into there, and you know what I mean. We ended up running that same storyline at MPWA, I believe it was Marketplace Wrestling Alliance or something. But yeah, I mean, that was, to me, that was pretty special. That was pretty fun.
Do you prefer as to perform as a single wrestler, a tag team wrestler, or with your faction?
To be honest, I've been thrown in quite a lot of tag team matches, and it depends on the tag team partner. Now, that being said, I still haven't, we, the religion, aka the Graveyard Gang, we still have yet to be booked as a faction um, in a Fed. So I'm quite honestly looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to running as a faction and kind of doing almost like some invasion type storylines. The people that I handpicked for the religion, I believe, are perfect fits. And I think the reason why we haven't been booked as a faction yet is because nobody sees the vision. But once I start running my shows at Squared Circle Society in Long Beach and booking us as a faction, I'm pretty sure everybody else will see the vision.
There's another part to that question. As a manager, do you like managing a single wrestler, a tag team, or a faction?
Ooh, that's a very good question. Honestly, um, I think singles only because being a manager, especially a heel manager, you have to move around a lot. You have to make sure you're heard. You have to, and if you have too many distractions going on, if you got too much going on, then it's a little bit harder for you. So if you only have your your person that you're looking after and the opponent, then you don't have too much to worry about. All you have to do is keep your eye on them and the ref, and that's more than enough right there because you only have two eyes and you got to watch three people. But I mean, also, it depends on the match. It depends if the match is fun. Like if it's like a faction thing and it's like a gimmicky thing where like it's like maybe like a Hell in the Cell match or something. That's fun because then as a manager, I get to get in there and mix it up as well myself. So it all depends. But honestly, I'd probably say singles competitors are probably the easiest and more fun to manage.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about our first sponsor, which is the CARE program, which stands for Community Action Reaching Everybody. And if you're interested in that, you can get a hold of Becky Bernhardt on Facebook.
Will do, most definitely.
And then our next question is, we know every wrestler has a finisher. Can you tell us about yours?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my finisher, it's very hard to describe. But you know what? I'll send it to you guys and you guys can put it at the end of this video or maybe leave a link in the description or something. But it's kind of too hard to describe. But I'll try my hardest. I basically pick somebody up almost like the vertebraker, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yep.
And what I end up doing is grabbing under their arms. So basically, I spin around in a circle, and the inertia makes their head come up, and I basically pull their head up and land like a bulldog. It's yeah, it's kind of weird when you hear me say it, but like when you see it, you'll be like, okay.
No, I'm actually picturing it in my head. I think I have an idea of how that looks.
Yeah, I call it. Well, right now I don't know what to call it. Honestly, I've called it a few different things. But what I was gonna use is I don't know if you're familiar with Angel Garza's wing clipper, but
familiar with it.
He actually took that from me. I was talking about that move, saying I was going to make that my finisher at a PCW Ultra show, and a few months later, I see him on NXT using it. So yeah, like you got to be careful sometimes what you do and say around certain people. But yeah, I was going to start using that as my finisher until he actually took it before I could use it. So yeah.
It's all right. The one that you described sounds cooler than that one anyway.
Oh man, it's only problem with it is that a lot of people are scared to take that move. So yeah.
All right, my favorite snack is cookies. What is your favorite cookie or snack, and what would it be and why?
Ooh. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. My favorite snack would probably be fruit. I love to eat fruit. I love oranges, apples, bananas. I don't know. I love fruit. If I had my pick, I'd pick some grapes, strawberries, and oranges maybe. And yeah, I mean That's my snack.
Ooh, I'm starting to get hungry for a nice fruit salad.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's exactly what I love. A little fruit salad, a couple walnuts sprinkled in there. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's sweet, but still, healthy.
And nothing wrong with being healthy.
That's right.
Who was the last person to give you advice on your wrestling skills? What advice was it? And do you still follow that advice today?
Actually, yeah. Wow, that's a very good one. Um, I went to I don't know if you guys remember a few years ago, I think it was right before the pandemic, Jake the Snake was doing stuff at different theaters where he was talking to the crowd and stuff like that. Um, I actually was in the crowd one time and was able to ask him, um, as a wrestler, I hear that you need to evolve constantly. I asked him, what would be a good way to keep evolving and you know what I mean, stay on top of your game. And basically, what he told me was, when you evolve, make sure you do it little by little, because if you just make big strides, then you don't know where to go to next. And that's actually been really instrumental in me becoming the Necro King and my various little outfits I wear, and trying to come up with the next little thing to push what would be, the change in my gimmick, or the change in my attitude, or the change in my wardrobe to, make me go up to the next level, or just get more attention, by the fans and stuff. And I still use that now. I still use that till today. Honestly, I feel like Necro King's going to be going through another transformation here soon. So, yeah, if you guys are following the Necro King in his journey through this wrestling world, then you'll see another little addition to the character coming up soon.
Very cool.
What was the story behind making the $1 billion championship?
Oh man, if you guys don't mind, can I grab that real quick so I can share it with you guys?
Go for it.
Absolutely.
Let me grab this thing, man. Oh yeah. Actually, the idea behind it was like I said, I love the gimmick stuff, right? I love when either a wrestler's gimmick just like sells the whole package, or you have a match that is almost like a gimmicky match, where it's like a lot of the lucha places do, like, it's called a máscara contra cabellera, and it's basically your mask versus the other person's hair. So whoever loses, you know what I mean? It's a gimmick thing. So when I had the idea for this belt, let me show it to you guys right here.
Oh, that's killer.
That is a
Oh,
sweet,
that's beautiful.
very
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
so the concept behind this is, the person that holds it is the $1 billion champion. And if you want a chance to wrestle against the champion, you have to put up something that's collateral, meaning some money, or maybe you could be my butler for a month, or, you could scrub my toilets for a month, or whatever you think you may have that might be worth something to me, for me to put my title on the line. And if I accept, the match goes on. If you win, you take the title. If I win, I take the title, and I take whatever collateral you bring for me. So basically, the title, whenever it's defended, is basically some kind of a gimmick match. And I bring that because a lot of wrestlers nowadays, they don't have a gimmick. They're just themselves. You know what I mean? And with this title, if you hold this title, you don't have to worry about having a gimmick or being gimmicky because the title does it for you. I don't know if that makes sense, but in order to get other guys over that wouldn't normally get over, I think this title might be that vessel.
That makes absolute sense. And I'll tell you right now, I've been watching wrestling for over 30 years, and that's probably one of the most creative titles that I've heard of.
I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I keep trying to be original and keep bringing stuff that people haven't seen or heard of. And if you come to Squared Circle Society on May 19th, I guarantee you'll see, hear, and experience stuff in wrestling that you've never experienced before.
So you touched on when you took the women's title before, when you were a commissioner for Compton, was that what was behind you making a man the women's championship?
I knew this was going to come back to just bite me in the butt. I knew this was going to come back to bite me in the butt. Oh,
Man,
that's
I do my
hilarious.
research.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I got to give it to you. You're good. The reason why I did that in Compton Mania was because the contract stated an open challenge. Now, everybody seems to want equal rights until the equal rights and left start coming. And that's why I did it. Because they say they want to be equal until it's time to be equal. Well, you did an open challenge. Open means anybody. Now, what would she have done if, let's say, somebody like Bull Nakano would have came to Compton Mania to take her title? The same thing would have happened. She would have dropped that title because she was not fit enough to hold it. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to get over as a heel right now. I'm just trying to say one thing. The contract stated anybody. So when she made an open challenge, she made herself a victim. I just went along with what was legally put down on the contract. And because so, I was fired. Now, that left a salty taste in my mouth. I'm not going to lie. Then after that, I showed up back at Compton Mania Monday night, Compton Mania, and they tried to badger me about it. But, I'm still going to hold my ground and say, look, the contract was legal. She made an open challenge. You make your bed, you have to lie in it. That had nothing to do with me being women's champion before. That has nothing to do with the past. It has nothing to do with anything of that nature. It has to do with actions and consequences. And Candy Girl made her bed. And now that she's lying in it, she doesn't like it. But that's not for me to decipher. That's for her to try to recognize before she makes an open challenge. Now, the next time, if there is a next time she holds that title or another and wants to make an open challenge, she better make sure she does her due process to let everybody know it's a woman she wants to wrestle. Because if she says open challenge, it's an open challenge. Let's turn the tables real quick before the next question comes. Say I was the champion and I made an open challenge and Candy Girl came out and beat me. Would that be okay? I'm sure everybody would be like, yeah, that would be okay. But when the shoe is on the other foot, the complainers come out. You see, this world isn't for participation champions. It's for real champions. And if you want to issue an open challenge, you have to deal with the consequences.
I love that answer.
I'm just being real, man.
And I'll tell you, the podcast I saw you on was the guys from Compton Mania. I recommend that podcast also.
Most definitely. Thank you.
And Mr. Pissoff and the guy that won the women's title.
Shiloh Greaves.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see us in the near future getting in the ring together, but one day soon, hopefully, I'll get my hands on that Shiloh Greaves and we'll see, you know, how much of a woman, I mean, I'm sorry, how much of a man he really is.
During your time as a professional wrestler, who gave you the best advice personally and professionally, and what was that advice they gave you?
Oh, man. Um, Listen, right now, I'm going to be real honest with your viewers right now. And, this is just my own personal experience in life. When I was younger, I was, dealing with gangs and stuff like that. And my rival, Vito Fratelli, put me to the side. I don't know if you remember this or not. But we used to actually have other gang members from different places come down to the places where we were wrestling and try to like run us off and stuff like that. And I would stand my ground. And he used to tell me like you have to pick your battles, bro. You know what I mean? But back then I was really hard headed. Like I said, I was doing stupid stuff and gang banging and doing all kind of crazy stuff. So it was like second nature to me to do stupid stuff like that. But he actually pulled me aside and he let me know, like, dude, if you keep doing this and something goes wrong, you're not going to be here anymore to wrestle. And I know you love to wrestle. And, he basically told me to stop the BS. And it took a little time for me to get out of that kind of lifestyle and basically turn my life around. Like, you know what I mean? Start going to the gym, start eating right, start, you know, um, um, stay away from certain people. And, so I ended up moving and I changed my whole lifestyle. But yeah, I would say Vito Fratelli, amongst others, because he wasn't the only one telling me, but he was more or less like he pulled me to the side and kind of did it one on one. And you know what I mean? No ego, no, he didn't make it sound like he thought he was better than me because of my lifestyle choices or anything. And, I actually appreciate him. I don't know if he's watching now or not, or if he'll be watching this, but I appreciate you, man. Like I said, we're rivals and stuff, but he's helped me through a lot of stuff. I mean, we've gone through a lot of stuff, as well. We've almost fought each other and stuff like that. But I've always looked at him as a brother, and yeah, he's most definitely. I think him and my wife basically got me away from that lifestyle I was living. So yeah, most definitely Vito Fratelli, and I can't forget my wife.
Okay, why did you decide to make your promotion with all the other promotions out there? And if you were talking to a potential trainee, why should they come to your promotion?
Very good question. Well, the reason why I wanted to run my own promotion was, honestly, I used to run my own promotion way back in the day, and for monetary reasons, it had to disappear. Um, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not, rolling in the dough right now, but I feel like right now is the perfect time because there is no wrestling in Long Beach, other than like lucha libre, and it's like on the other side of town from where I'm at. And um, Compton Mania actually gave me the inspiration because a lot of the kids and parents that take their kids to the shows support Compton Mania, and I know and believe at the same time that the same thing will happen here in Long Beach. We don't have too much going on for, kids and stuff. So now this is my turn to pay it forward and maybe get those kids that are going through the same stuff I was dealing with out of the situation they're in. And they can come train with us. They can come hang with us, come watch us do what we do so that, when you get ready, we can train you and you can get in there as well. But I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to give back. I think it's time. I'm 40 now. I've been wrestling for over 20 years. Like I said, I started when I was 12. Not professionally, of course, but I've been involved with wrestling my whole life, and I feel like wrestling doesn't owe anybody anything, but maybe we owe something back to wrestling if it's taking care of us. You know what I mean? And I believe that's why I'm still alive. That's why I'm still here. Other than my family, of course, but to me, this is the perfect time to give back. There's nothing in Long Beach for us. And like I said, I want to help out the kids that would otherwise be in the streets doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing.
Very
And,
cool.
and as far as the rest of the other companies that are out there, no shade on them, but I'm not focused on them. I'm not right now. I have tunnel vision on what we're doing. So if you want to be a part of it, message me on Facebook, or hopefully there'll be a link here or something where you guys can get a hold of me. But yeah, if anybody wants to help out or just be a part of the show, call me, let me know, message me, let me know, and everyone's welcome.
If you had a dream match, what would it be? Who would be involved in it, and why? And who would you put over?
Oh man. Honestly, if I had a dream match, it would probably be me versus Hayabusa versus Ultimo Dragon. Even though I don't think I'm not even on that caliber, but just those are some of my favorite wrestlers, and one of the reasons why I wear a mask or used to wear a mask when I wrestle. So I honestly would think that's the dream match, just because I would get to watch them both go at it and be involved in some kind of capacity. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who goes over. In the end, I would honestly feel like I went over just because of the opportunity.
Those are two of the best wrestlers I watched in WCW.
Ever.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
And man, I'll tell you this: I've seen some of your matches, and you are at that level.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So, what is your best match of your career? Who was it against so far? Who was it against? And why was it the best match?
Oh man. I would say my best match ever was probably against Vito Fratelli and Schizo, the triple threat that we had. Only because um, I ended up winning the championship at the end, and it was like a storyline which I had been trying to capture the title for a minute. So when the payoff hit and everything, it felt great. It was wonderful. Unfortunately, that was our last show for that company that we were running at the time. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm still the champion if you want to look at it that way. And I ended up pinning Vito, so it was actually that much more sweet because he was like, whatever company he's at right now, he's like the top guy, the front runner. So getting a win over Vito, back then it was VPAC. Getting a win over VPAC that was big for me. Even though it was a triple threat and whatnot, it was still big for me. And getting to hold up the title with my family there watching me, that was memorable. So that I would say that match.
What mark would you leave? Would you like to leave on the luchador community as a professional wrestler with Latino heritage?
Ooh, hopefully not a skid mark. um, honestly, I don't know if I've made a mark or if I'm gonna leave a mark. But my main focus is if I have touched the heart of one person, whether boy or girl, and they either like the way I wrestle, which I don't think I'm that great of a wrestler. I think my character gets me over more than anything. But if they loved my character or whatever it was that drove them to like or love wrestling and maybe even become a wrestler themselves, I'd be happy with that. I don't know if I'd leave a mark or if anybody would remember me or anything like that. But most definitely, I just want to touch the heart of some kid, boy or girl, whatever, and make sure that when they get to my age, 40, that they're content in what they did and were happy that they never really had a boss and they could, you know what I mean, be themselves and do what they want to do.
Very good. I'm also 40, and I'm just now living my dream by doing this podcast.
That's great, man. Awesome. Keep doing it.
So with that, we'd like to thank our second sponsor, Bruce Nichols Painting, for all your painting needs, pressure washing, and lead removal. You can look him up on Facebook also, and he's taking bids right now.
All right, Bruce.
So we've all seen some pretty nasty breaks, like Dante Martin's ankle that just happened, or that just got broke at Supercard of Honor. What was your worst injury that you had in your career?
I've had a few. Most of them were knee dislocations, which I've had a problem with that ever since I started in elementary, actually in junior high playing football. But yeah, that was a common injury that used to happen almost every match back in the day. I would dislocate my knee. Good thing that I've rehabbed it now. It's a lot better. Still slips out every now and then, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a lot better now. Not too long ago, in Barstow, I had a concussion. I took I believe it was a brain buster on the apron of the ring, and I wrestled for, I believe it was like 8 to 10 minutes after that, and I don't even remember wrestling the rest of the match. I know I won with a Shining Wizard that I've never done a Shining Wizard before. I don't know why. I don't know what happened or what was going through my brain. I think it was just muscle memory carrying me through it. But that was one of them. And my first really rough one was when I found out I had kidney stones. Um, I tried to pick up Vito Fratelli. I don't know if you guys know how big this guy is, but I tried to pick him up, and I guess the force that I used, I pushed a kidney stone through my urethra, and it got stuck halfway.
Oh,
Mm.
And yeah, unfortunately, I dropped him and injured him, and we had to just hurry up and try to finish the match. And that was really, really freaking painful. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but yeah, I think that was the worst. It felt,
I feel you on the kidney stone.
yeah, it felt like
I think we all feel you on that one.
it felt like my tool broke in half. It was devastating for sure. And I didn't find out until the next day, until I went to the hospital when they did a X-ray. They found the stone in my urethra.
Ouch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that was the most painful, the worst. For sure.
well, I could honestly say that's an injury I won't forget for a while.
Neither will I.
Yeah, that was a brutal one. I'm not saying Dante Martin's leg wasn't bad. I'm just saying that was a pretty brutal one right there.
No, I think yours drops Dante's broken
Oh
leg.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That tops it big time.
Felt like a broken tool, but I mean, what the match has to go on. You have to give the fans what they want. So I had to finish up that way, unfortunately. But we got the match done, and I ended up having to hurry up and get home and take the pain medication, and the next day it didn't go away. So yeah, I had to go to the hospital, and yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I sympathize you on that.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I like I said, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. That was the worst pain I've ever went through, and I've broken my foot. I've dislocated my knee. You know what I mean? Like I've gone through some pretty bad accidents, but that trumped them all. Moment of silence, huh? On that one.
I think we're all kind of trying to process that one.
Yeah.
And I think you have the next question.
I do. If you could book one match as a promoter, who would be the wrestlers involved, and what would the match be? Who would it be, and what would the outcome be?
Oh wow, that's a great question. Honestly, like I said, my rival Vito, me and him have been pushing each other through this wrestling journey. Like I said, he's at the top of every freaking fed he goes to. Me not so much, but I would love to get him over only because I see his potential, I see his talent, and I know it's just a matter of time before somebody picks him up. So, and I say that about this next person I'm about to mention, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
And I would love to see these two big, massive men just go at it in the middle of the ring and beat the holy hell out of each other. And the outcome would be, for me, would be Vito Fratelli on top, only because, let's face it, Jacob Fatu doesn't need to win. I mean, you know, um, him losing to Vito doesn't make him any less. So to me, that's what the outcome would be. And I think I would probably put them like in a ladder match for a title, only so that we can see them really go at it. And, hopefully I can be able to book this match soon for SBS. But I mean, if not, hopefully somebody out there that's listening to this, gets the idea and hooks my guys up. Shout out to the Samoan werewolf.
Yeah. Side note to that, though, we actually interviewed Offa's son-in-law,
Okay.
Vertigo, the Kira Rivera.
Right.
He was actually one of our interviewees.
Okay. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Jacob's my boy, man. Wherever he goes, same thing with Vito. Wherever Jacob goes, he's the top of the card. He's the main man at the show. So to watch both of these guys go at it, to me, would be a freaking I think the fans, it would be like an independent WrestleMania main event type match, if you will.
Absolutely.
And I've said this about Jacob before. To me, and this is no offense to Christopher Daniels, but to me, Jacob Fatu has the best moonsault ever.
Yeah, oh, most definitely, brother. I've seen it in person so many times, and I still don't believe it. That big man can fly through the air with the easiest, with precision and ease. He makes it look easy, and it's not. It's not. I can tell you because I've hurt myself trying. It's not easy.
So when you're not wrestling, what do you do in your free time to relax?
Oh man, I have 2 kids and a wife. There is no free time to relax. If you're married, then you know what I mean. There's always something to do. There's always something to do. Um, but I mean, honestly, I like to spend time with my family and just relax and enjoy family time. Just whatever it is. If we're watching TV or a movie or maybe playing a video game with my kids, whatever it is, just try to be here with my wife and my kids.
Very cool.
In your
I have to
person-
know. I'm a gamer. So, what's your favorite video game?
Right now, I would probably have to say Skyrim,
Very good choice.
only because there's always something new to do. You don't really get bored of it too much.
Yeah, I'm also a gamer too.
Nice.
Did you know there's a mod in that one where you can make one of the dragons? Wait, no, that was Skyrim. The Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh wow, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What's
I actually
clean,
play
baby?
that game too.
Nice. What's your favorite game?
Mine is, believe it or not, is The Last of Us.
Okay.
Good choice.
I still haven't played it. I've watched people play it, but I'm more into fighting games and stuff like that. I'm more 2K, WWE 2K,
Mm.
or boxing, MMA. Those are my games. I don't really. Skyrim's one of the few games that it's not a fighting game that I'm into. But I guess you could. It has fighting in it, so I guess.
I do have the new 2K23, and it's off the chart.
See, and I'm getting ready to go get that. I tried to get it pre-ordered, but they said they didn't have it in my area, and the pre-orders were like way backed up. So I'm just gonna wait maybe about another week or two, and then I'm gonna just go get it.
Oh, you're gonna have a blast with that one.
I might have to drive around because they don't have it anywhere around me, but I'll take the drive. I think it's worth it.
In your personal opinion, can you name your top 5 tag teams from 5 to 1? Who would they be and why?
Oh, that's a very good question. Honestly, I think 5 would have to be the Bushwhackers. Like I said, I've always been a gimmick guy. I love the gimmicks. To me, gimmicks get you over, even if you really can't wrestle too well. As long as you can work the crowd and you can entertain the crowd, to me, you won. You know what I mean? Well, actually, the crowd won. If the crowd wins, then you win. So I would say the Bushwhackers. I would say the Steiners, the Steiner brothers. I would say Demolition, most definitely number 3. I would say the Legion of Doom. And my number 1 tag team would be, and this is only because they were so dominant, would be the Brothers of Destruction.
Very good.
Undertaker and Kane ran that division ragged, bro. They ran through everybody.
That they did. Yeah, the Bushwhackers only had one other gimmick that I know of.
Yeah.
Back in the NWA days.
Right.
The sheep herders.
Yeah, right. And to me, like, that's longevity. I think if you have both the wrestling down and a nice gimmick, that's longevity. But as long as you have a good gimmick, even if you can't get over wrestling, you know what I mean? Like, you can't do backflips and all that. As long as you can work the crowd, I think you're perfectly fine. I think you know what I mean? The main thing is working the crowd. If you work the crowd, then you won.
Yeah, my favorite part of the Bushwhackers, though, was when they dressed up as 2 of the Doinks.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, they were entertaining, man. You watch them when they walked in the ring swinging their arms up and down, and I mean they really didn't have too much of a move set. They would do headbutts and lick each other, but they were entertaining. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've seen more teeth on an apple, but they were entertaining.
What what advice would you give a person who wanted to pursue a career in professional wrestling?
Oh my goodness. I would tell them um I would tell them honestly to be mentally prepared. Um because I've seen different physicals in wrestling. There's big guys, small guys, there's little women, big women, there's even, little people in wrestling. So I wouldn't say the physical too much. You don't have to be, shouts out to my boy Chris Masters, but you don't have to be a masterpiece. Um, you know, um, but I would say prepare mentally, sharpen your mental tool because this business takes a strain out on you. When you think you're rising to the top, sometimes it doesn't go your way. The promoter wants to go a different way, or you feel like you're doing more than what people are giving you credit for, whatever it is. You just have to stay mentally sharp and tough. A lot of people in this industry get overlooked, and I know some people feel like, damn, I'm the only one. It's just me. All my friends are, getting spots, getting booked, and I'm getting overlooked. Just keep on with your craft. Just keep training, keep that mental sharpness going because the minute you get that perfect match, the right match, or you never know. Maybe you have to change your gimmick. Can you change your gimmick to that perfect gimmick? Boom, you're right there. So if you're not mentally prepared to be in that spot, a lot of people crumble. A lot of people fall. So yeah, I would say just prepare mentally to be in that spot. Even if you never get that spot, prepare mentally because once you get there, it's hell. It's hell. You get a title, everybody wants a shot. If you're number one contender or you're the champion, the company is looking for you to promote more. They're looking for you to look more like a champion. They want you to dress in suits. They want you to be, more in the gym more. They want you to, do more promos. They want more of you. So just be mentally prepared and stay on top of your game. This 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 beast called entertainment is very very thirsty, and if you don't keep refilling the well, um, your dreams run dry. Honestly, so keep evolving, like Jake the Snake told me. Keep evolving.
Could you give us a list from 5 to 1, your 5 best opponents, why they were listed, and why they were, or the way they were?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Could you give us a list from 5 to 1, your 5 best opponents, and why they were listed the way they were?
Okay. Okay. Um, I would say number 5 would be Kid Knight. Shouts out to Kid Knight. I've only wrestled him a few times, but every time I wrestle this guy, he always gets the win, and it just kills me. Um, you know, he's still undefeated against me, even though I don't think I think we teamed up once, and then we've wrestled against each other twice. But every single time we've gone against each other, he's beaten me. So I would put him number 5. Number 4, I would say Rancho Camacho. Rancho Camacho is a hell of a competitor. He is one of the guys that I think is on his A game when he's on his A game. Um, he's a tough SOB. He's solid. He knows what he's doing in the ring, and that bastard gave me a concussion with that brain buster on the apron. So I would give him the number 4 spot. The number 3 spot, I think the number 3 spot I would have to give to, he's not well known, but it's a guy named Twisto. Um, he's from the San Pedro area, and back in the day, we used to wrestle quite a few times against each other, and he's highly acrobatic. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't like the guy, but I mean, I won't take nothing from him. He's a hell of an athlete. He can do the flips and the twirls and the doodles and all that stuff. And that's why I'll give him number 3. He's actually really entertaining and fun to watch. Um, Number 2, I would probably say Red Spider. Red Spider is incredible in the ring. He's a big dude, but he's very agile. He's versatile, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was losing it in the ring one time, and he talked me down. And you know what I mean. He's a ring general, so he helped me out in the ring as well. And shouts out to Red Spider. Um, he would have to take number 2 for that. And then number 1, like I said before, it would have to be Vito Fratelli. Me and him have wrestled more times than I can count. He's gone over, I've gone over. He's beaten me for titles. I've beaten him for a title, and our rivalry has been, man, I'd say about 20 years now. So yeah, Vito Fratelli, most definitely. And if you're watching this, Vito, just know I'm still here. I'm still training. We're gonna get in there and mix it up soon, bro.
If anyone came to you and said, "We want to become a professional wrestler," would you encourage them, discourage them, and if you would encourage them, would you train them?
Ah, um, honestly, I would have to tell them, like I said earlier, I would have to see if they have that mental toughness. A lot of people aren't cut out for this business. I know when I was younger, not too long ago actually, I used to get bitter and get on Facebook and rant and stuff like that, and it just isn't going to do anything for anybody. It's not going to change anything. So I would have to check out their mental toughness. But if they wanted to become a wrestler, I would tell them most definitely pursue it. It's not for everybody, but if you love it and you stick to it, you'll make a name eventually for yourself in this business. And even if you don't, you'll have the most fun on the journey than anybody that works in a cubicle ever will. And would I train them? I would train them what I know. I mean, which I'm not going to lie, isn't much. I would let them have every bit of knowledge that I have, but I would also tell them to pursue training elsewhere because that's how I learned. I learned moving from place to place, and you'll learn things from somebody that you won't learn from another person. So it's always great to keep bouncing around and learning at different places.
Could you give us a list of your top 5 managers from 5 to 1 and why?
Oh, that's a very, very good one. Ooh, Jesus, there's been so many great ones. Let me see. Um, you know what? I think I'm gonna say Luna Vachon in number 5. Um, I, I'm a gimmick guy. I'll say it again. I'm a gimmick guy, and when she came out, she commanded attention. And if she didn't get it, she would scream and get it. So I love something like that. I love Luna Vachon for that. Number four, I would probably have to go with Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji was instrumental in a lot of Asian inspired and Asian wrestling gimmicks. Um, he was always involved. He would trip you, hit you with the cane. He was instrumental in making sure his client, if you will, won the match. And I love that. I love when the manager isn't just standing there. I love when the manager is a part of the gimmick. I love when the manager gets his hands dirty. So Mr. Fuji would be number four. Number three, I would probably have to go with Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette was so animated, the faces he would make, and his promos were actually very good. Um, to me, there's very little a manager can use at his discretion to change the outcome of a match. And just to have a voice and be able to do that, Jim Cornette was amazing. He was amazing. Um, number two, honestly, I would probably have to say Paul Bearer. Uh, Paul Bearer getting over Kane or The Undertaker. I mean, there's nothing I could say about that. You know what I mean? If The Undertaker didn't sell the gimmick with his look, I mean, Paul Bearer was just the perfect combination with that entity to make it break through the roof and make it larger than life. The same thing with Kane. He knew exactly what he was doing, and just his delivery. His delivery was just so uncanny. It was like no other. So I have to give the second spot to Paul Bearer. And number one, of course, would be the Advocate, Paul Heyman. He's timeless. I mean, ever since his time with ECW and through WCW and now the now era with WWE, I mean, Paul Heyman is just genius. I don't think any other manager has had the longevity, has had the effect on wrestling, period, that Paul Heyman has had. His ability to turn somebody that can't cut a promo into a megastar is just unrivaled. Nobody else can pull off what Paul Heyman pulls off. So that would be my number one.
I like that list.
Thank
Little side
you.
note on that. Before I did this podcast, I did an internet radio show with the original Pitbull, Gary Wolf.
Nice. Very nice. Shouts out to the Wolf.
Very much so. What is your future goals in wrestling?
Oh man, my future goals in wrestling, honestly, the reason why I started Squared Circle Society and why the name is actually Squared Circle Society is because the Squared Circle is our home. So a lot of wrestlers, reps, um, um, company owners, managers, valets. Um, the reason why the Squared Circle is our home is because we spend so much time there. And the reason why I call it the society is because all of us that shed blood, sweat, and tears in that squared circle, whether we like each other or not, we have one common goal, and that's to make sure that the fans get what they came for. And that makes us all brothers and sisters in my eyes. That's why I call it the society. That's why I call it Squared Circle Society. And the reason why I started it was to make sure that the rest of the companies in our area click up with each other instead of hating each other. Because if we actually work together, we can get more done. We can actually cover storylines through each other's companies if we're using the same talent. We can there's actually no limit to what we can do once we start working together. And that's my goal, is to get all these wrestling companies in tune with each other together. I know not every single one of them is going to want to be a part of it, but the people that see that coming together makes us greater, the people that see that know what I'm talking about, know that as long as we're, helping each other, none of our companies is going to go under. If we make sure that I run this month, you run next month, the next person runs the next month, and then we recycle and help each other do so, there's no way that we can fail. And that's my goal. That's my future goal for wrestling, is to make sure that little companies like mine end up thriving. Little independent wrestlers that would have never had a name or made a way get a chance to. My goal is to, once again, if I spark the mind of one little boy or girl that go, man, I love wrestling and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. If I can spark that change, then that's what my future goal is for wrestling. My future goal is not to leave an imprint. My future goal is to make sure that we all, whether I'm here or not, I pass away, whatever, even when I'm far dead, gone, that we all help each other thrive, love each other, and come together as a community, as a society. Because honestly, at the end of the day, all we want is the same thing. We want to put on a great freaking show for our fans, because our fans deserve it. And if that's not what you're in it for, then I don't think you're in the right business.
Okay, we've asked that question to a lot of people, and I think that's one of the better answers we've heard personally.
I agree with that one.
Thank you, man. I'm just trying to be honest. That when I started this company, that was my main goal, was to try to bring all the companies from not only Southern California, but NorCal, Arizona, Las Vegas. I want us all to thrive. I want us all to, if you're a company owner, I don't want your company to go under. I want us to all make it make sense, make some money out of this, which is not the main thing. The main thing, the money is only to keep the shows going. The main thing is to keep our fans happy. To me, that's key. That's number one. And like I said earlier, if that's not what you're in it for, I think you're in the wrong business.
Absolutely.
In your opinion, who is a better wrestler turned actor? The Rock, John Cena, Batista, The Miz, Randy Orton, Goldberg, or other?
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say myself. I've been dabbling into some acting lately, and yeah, I mean, um, not to toot my own horn, but I'm actually really excited doing this new venture, and I love it. I mean, it's something that I get to still use my acting choreography and my wrestling choreography and everything for. So to me, it's wonderful. I mean, I hopefully will one day become as big as The Rock, not physically, but star power wise. Even though I don't think I'm that charismatic or anything, but you know, anybody else too that's out there doing it. The God King, aka the Tim, he's another one. Wrestler turned actor, bro. You're doing your stuff. Don't stop. Keep doing it. I see you. Who else? Mako, the Sad Boy. Um, yeah, I mean, let's do this. Ronnie. I mean, there's quite a few of us right now that are trying to, dip our toes into different waters and see how it feels. So anybody who's out there trying something new, or trying to broaden your horizons, for to, so- to to put it in a different way, pursue your dreams, man. I love it. I love you guys. Broadening your horizons. Don't just have one avenue. Have many different avenues you can walk up and down towards. But yeah, to sum it up, myself.
I could eventually see you on the big screen.
That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I actually have a little movie short that I'll share with you guys. I don't know if you guys might want to put a description in the link or something like that, but I'll most definitely send it to you guys.
Sounds good.
And I'm working on another one at the moment, so
Very cool. We'll definitely put it on our Facebook page too.
most definitely.
So playing off of that, what's your favorite wrestling movie?
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go to back in the day where a lot of the people watching right now probably they probably weren't alive, but I would say Hulk Hogan's Commando.
Hmm.
To me, that was a classic.
Yeah, I
And
agree
after
with
my
that
own
one.
heart on that one.
I love
Yeah,
it how the Undertaker spoke for the first time in it.
yeah, yes. It's to me that's a classic. You can't go wrong with Commando Hulk Hogan. Wholesome family fun.
If you had a chance right now to choose between the four major promotions, WWE, AEW, New Japan Wrestling, or a higher in the circuit, such as Impact, GCW, or MLW, which promotion would you choose and why?
Oh wow. You know what? I think I would go with AEW only because it feels and looks like they give you more freedom with your gimmick and with your freedom. Um, and with my luck, if I pick WWE, I'd go over there and they'd make me somebody like, somebody that wears pink tights and nipple tassels or something. You know what I mean? Um, so honestly, I would have to go with AEW. That and another reason is because, like I said, when we were doing shows at the park and stuff like that, when I was really young, the Young Bucks actually came out and wrestled with us at
No.
San Pedro. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yokozuna, after his career was done, he came out and watched us wrestle at the park. Like, yeah, Brian Kendrick,
Ooh.
some pretty big people came out. And one of the guys that was there with us, he's probably gonna freaking kill me when I tell you guys this, but back in the day, wrestling with us at the park was Mr. Chris Masters himself, Chris Mordetsky. He actually I grew up with him when he was living in Culver City. He used to come down to San Pedro and wrestle with us. Way back in the day.
Wow.
Yes.
So I would have to go with AEW because there's some pretty familiar faces there. A lot of the guys, I'm familiar with a lot of the guys there. My guy Pentagon in Phoenix, my guys are over there, so I would have to go over there.
Yes, the reason our executive producer oohed and awed, besides the fact that they're huge, names, is because he's probably the biggest Young Bucks fan I've ever met in my life. So
that's right.
Well, shout out to him knowing Penta too, man.
exactly.
Those are probably the two best tag teams in the world right now, is the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks.
Most definitely. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can get a shot of this here, but I got a couple little
Oh,
Oh, that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
oh,
I'm trying to get the whole arm here. Let me see if I can get it. Ah, here goes this one. Here goes this one.
oh.
Ooh, that's a cool one. Is that Ray Phoenix?
Ray Mysterio.
That's
That
Rey
one's-
Mysterio.
Oh,
That one's Ray.
yeah. Now I can see Ray.
Wow.
Penta.
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix.
Nice.
Wow.
Those are some
Nice.
sweet. Those are killer. I like them.
Octagon.
Nice.
Yeah, I got down here I have Ultimo Dragon.
Oh. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully I'll be able to get the whole arm done soon.
So our last question is, what's one story that somebody can't look up on you that they would be shocked about?
Ooh. One story that they can't look up. Oh, here. Let me see. Let me see. Here goes. Here goes a couple. Actually, there's moves that you've seen in the WWE that were created by me. You can't look
Ooh.
it up, obviously, but one of them, like I told you earlier, was the Hector Garza thing, the wing clipper, which at the time I was calling it the Devil's Wings. So there's that. There's the Glam Slam. Actually, the way the Glam Slam came about was, like I said, I was friends with Chris Masters, and when he got the contract for WWE, I seen him using the Master Lap, and he wasn't really getting over. So I told him, maybe you should use this move, and I showed him the Quesadora face slam down from the Master Lock, and he was like, "That's actually pretty cool," but I guess they wanted him to stay old school with the full Nelson, so he ended up giving it to his weightlifting, one of his weightlifting partners at the time, which was Beth Phoenix, and that's how the Glam Slam came about.
Wow.
Wow. Well, that's all the questions we have. Is there anything you want to promote or anything that's coming up for you? Or
Yeah, most definitely. I want you guys to check out Valor Pro Wrestling. That's going to be the 30th of this month, I believe, the 29th, the 30th of this month. Look it up on Facebook, Valor Pro Wrestling. And then in May 19th, will be the first ever SCS, Squared Circle Society Wrestling Show. Our main event will be Kiss Jr. versus Vito Fratelli for the Squared Circle Society Heavyweight Championship. Also, I'm having a battle royal to see who's going to be the inaugural $1 billion champion. So make sure you're there to check that out. I'll have a couple tag team matches and a few one-on-ones. You guys come check it out. That's May 19th at the Scottish Rite Cathedral in Long Beach, California. May 19th.
Very cool.
well, we want to thank you for being on, and
Well,
good luck in all your stuff for Squared Circle.
And before we let him go, Nathan, we would also like to throw this out here. If you're looking for any media scrum after your matches or whatnot, hook us up. We will do your video scrums from your show or from our couches at your show.
Most definitely. I will most definitely hit you guys up about that. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening or day, depending on where you guys are at located. I'm in SoCal, so it's getting kind of dark here right now,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And I actually have a lot more people that you guys need to interview. I will go ahead and link you guys up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for letting me, just vent here and let everybody know a little bit more about Necro King. And yeah, man, I really appreciate you guys.
No
Absolutely.
problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Peace out. And Necro King 1.
Thank you. Best interview ever.
Yep.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. Necro King was amazing. Join us tomorrow night for Mike Martinez. And Thursday night is Mr. Gina I Told You So Rivera. And I'm not even going to badmouth this man because I've learned to come to like the guy now with everything that he does and his promos and everything. I think we're going to have a great interview. So that's our next 2 nights. And then Friday night, I believe, is Sean O'Reilly, I believe, correct?
Yes, for SXPW.
So those are our next 3 shows. Check us out. Until then, everybody, help control the pet population. Have your co-host and host spaded and neutered. Peace out.